thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, for the first time in Bahamian parliamentary history, a member has crossed the floor to a third party. The announcement creating waves of shock around the country since this morning. Tonight, Aram Lewis joins me. Also, what is the response on Grand Bahama tonight? What does this mean for the FNM? Or was the party expecting this move as word of Lewis not getting a nomination was already being whispered within and outside the party? And get ready for the Ministry of Agriculture's Agri-expo set for this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's a big draw for residents, not just here in New Providence, but vendors from around the country. We talk about that as well. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, Bahamians, whether they be FNM, PLP, or COI, were stunned this morning when they heard the announcement from Aram Lewis himself during a contribution in the House of Assembly that he would not be moving forward with the party that he won a seat under for Central Grand Bahama. Lewis and the party had apparently been on the outs for some time now, and it was no secret. So let's talk about Lewis crossing the floor and going to the Coalition of Independents, a party that until now has never had representation in any of the Houses of Parliament. Many FNM supporters were incensed over the move. They feel Lewis, a two-time MP in the Free National Movement, is wrong to take with him a seat that he won on an FNM ticket to the COI. So here's how this all works. Under the Westminster system, this is allowed. Crossing the floor has happened numerous times here in this parliamentary system, with PLP members crossing the floor and joining the FNM, others crossing the floor to become independent and later joining the PLP, each with their move and seat in tow. But some might say a lot more is at stake here. The FNM could ill afford this kind of distraction at this time. Did Lewis trump the FNM leadership before they could kick him out by not offering him a nomination in the run-up to the 2026 general election? That's the big question tonight. Well, let's get into it. Good evening to you, Aram Lewis. It's good to have you here. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Good evening, Shanique. Thank you for having me.
Listen, you made, headlines, waves, and all, just every bit of sort of thing that could have happened today since this morning until right now this evening. Did you expect this announcement to have this kind of impact?
Absolutely not. But I know it's a move that I had to make. And of course, it is causing quite a stir in the country, something that I didn't anticipate. But again, I'm believing that it's all for the greater good.
It's all for the greater good, you say?
Yes.
What was the relationship like with the FNM leadership? Obviously, things were not the best. You have been sort of on the outside looking in for quite some time. How ugly had that relationship gotten before you made this morning's announcement?
Well, it was not as ugly as it could have been because I'm a passive person when necessary. And if I see unnecessary fighting going on, I just back off. I just back away because having public squabble is not in the best interest of anyone. But of course, there's been a level of discomfort. There's been some unsettling feelings.
Like what, for example?
That I've been experiencing, the kind of support that I believe that I should have gotten. There were certain things that I did on behalf of the Bahamian people that I was chastised for. I felt ostracized, and I did it out of the goodness of my heart on behalf of the people, not to embarrass the FNM party, because there's a move that I made that wasn't political as far as I'm concerned. Yes, I was the member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama at the time, but I made some move that I guess the leadership at the time didn't feel like it was right. I was convinced. I was convicted by my belief that I should have moved, and I did. And of course, there was a lot of pushback as a result.
Really? So what was the relationship like behind closed doors? You know, we saw you all sit in Parliament as a group side by side, but obviously things weren't the best there. You would get up and speak, and so the response to you, even from your own team, was frosty at best.
After a while, I felt like an outsider. And one of the things that I said this morning, I prefer to be in a place where I'm appreciated as opposed to being in a place where I'm tolerated.
Very interesting. I want you to respond to this. I'm going to read it in part. This is a statement issued late this afternoon from the Free National Movement leadership, coming from the leader. In fact, the leader in the House of Assembly this afternoon talked and just briefly mentioned it, and then he moved on. But here's this. On more than one occasion, the executive committee of the party has called Mr. Lewis's behavior into question for certain actions displayed. In addition, the Constituency Association recently wrote to the party requesting that Mr. Lewis not be renominated as the party's standard bearer in the next election for reasons stated by them. The party is moving in consultation with the Constituency Association and others to identify a replacement candidate for the Central Grand Bahama constituency, and it goes on. What did you do to the people of Central Grand Bahama?
Let's start right there.
Yeah, what happened?
Let's start right there. But at the end, the Constituency Association wrote a letter. I was not aware of any letter. I was not interviewed by the association. Who was those? When did the association did this? The association or the executives of the association? I'm confused, because if it was done, this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's done behind my back. This is my first time hearing this, that they wrote to the party, to the executive,
yes,
with the suggestion that I not be nominated. Okay, that's a part of the undermining that is taking place in the party.
So you're saying you put a big question mark there. It's a big even if this is true, why weren't you involved and informed to say, you know, Aaron, look here for a second, we are getting some complaints about you from your association, and you know, we are not sure, based on everything that's being said to us, we don't know that we can move forward. Nothing was ever said to you.
I don't need vindication, but if I ever needed vindication, that's a clear indication that a lot of backdoor dealings, a lot of backstabbing took place. So
by the association or the leadership?
Obviously, that's what the release is saying. That is exactly what the release is saying. I'm totally unaware, and that's come from the FNM with the FNM logo on it.
Yes.
This is confirmation that some underhanded action was taking place. I'm glad they penned that.
When was the last time you met with the FNM, went out for coffee together, discussed what your approach would be perhaps in the House of Assembly? When was the last time this happened?
The last association meeting, let me start with the association. Okay. The last association meeting was 2 Mondays ago. 2 weeks ago. Guess who the guest speaker was?
Were you there?
Guess who the guest speaker was?
I don't know. Was it the new MP to be?
I was the guest speaker.
No way. There was an event with the association of your constituency.
I was the guest speaker.
And you were the guest speaker?
The chairman of
Who invited you?
The chairman of the association invited me to come in as the guest speaker, and I spoke the issues concerning Grand Bahama and the Bahamas.
What was the association's reception to you when you showed up that evening?
It was fine. Persons in the audience were there cheering. I hit on some good points. Talk about food security, how important it is for us to take care of ourselves, the issues that we're facing now with these tariffs imposed by the Trump administration, how it's time now for the FNM to get ready for elections. And looking in the audience, the reception was good. Afterwards, I was greeted, hey, good job. By your association members? Yes, we appreciate what you did. We appreciate what you're saying. So now, this being released by the said association speaks to the fact that there was a Judas
in the audience.
There's some Judases.
So your relationship with the association to this point, as far as you're aware, was never something that was sort of like there were issues and disagreements and
there were some members on the executive that I had some issues with, and every politician that is serving Grand Bahama. I remember David Thompson had issue with his association. The member of parliament before me, Nico Grant. He formed a team called Nick's team because he had to form an inner circle because he's getting pushbacks from certain factions. So this is nothing new. with respect to having persons in association having differing of opinion with you. But to go to this level where the association would have written to the executive already without interviewing me, without having a conversation with me, say, look, you served well for 2 years, however, we want to move in a different direction.
Two terms,
for two terms, now we want to move in a different direction.
Yeah.
So for that to blatantly take place, and for it to be penned and released nationally, wow, I would say my timing was spot on.
So you're happy that you trumped them
more than
before
ever,
they could
more than
bring
ever
this
now,
up.
based on that release,
Yeah.
more than ever, it would, if I needed vindication, if I needed it, I don't think I do, if I needed vindication, that speaks to the fact that there was a lot of backstabbing. And let's go to the front of the letter. You say on 2 occasions,
What is the behavior that they're talking about? I mean, were you one of those MPs that's just a handful? Like
I am blessed. I am blessed with a good mind. My memory is still good. I still have a heart of flesh, not a heart of stone. I act on behalf of the people. If my memory serves me correctly, there were 2 times when I was called in to question by the association, and this is so interesting. When there was a protest in front of the Prime Minister's office at Cable Beach over the fact that someone was sworn in at a funeral by the Minister of Immigration,
the immigration matter,
the Bahamians were outraged. They called for the leaders to come out there and support them in their protest. I was one of the few that showed up. Members of the Coalition of Independents was there, not wearing their colors. Persons were there from the Free National Movement, scared to be seen on camera.
Yeah.
In protest, I was the only member of parliament there.
No, but Aram, surely the FNM cannot be, or your association cannot be referring to you trying to fight on behalf of the Bahamian people as your behavior issues. Because I do remember you calling this show, in fact, appearing a few times to talk about a gas leak in Grand Bahama. You've always been out there. You've protested with your constituents about gas leaks in Grand Bahama. I do recall that, and so and that affecting the residents' health.
Yes.
And so,
This
is that the behavior?
That's one time the executive called me and asked me, what were you doing on there with those people?
Oh, okay.
So they missed the point, the reason for me being there. They were more concerned about who was in the crowd as opposed to my reason for being there. My purpose was overlooked.
Did you also participate in a protest against the Grand Bahama Power Company?
That's the second time the executives called me in.
So that's another behavior, that's another infraction.
Quote-unquote behavioral infraction. And because of who was in the crowd, they didn't like who was in the crowd. But again, understand my reason for being there. I am a Grand Bahamian. I was one of those persons suffering as a result of the heavy bills imposed by the power company and their proposal to increase the rates. I stood with the people. I was hurting too. And being a voice of the people to show them the support and to stand in solidarity with them, I was there to say, guys, I'm here to stand with you. I don't believe it's right, and we're going to fight this. I was called in to the executive meeting. That was the second time. What were you doing there with those people? Hey, guys, understand the reason for me being there. And I went back to the Bible. When Jesus was here, he had a purpose. But he hung around what they call with publicans and sinners, with the tax collectors, with the cussing fishermen. But his purpose never changed. Yeah, I'm in crowd with these guys, what they call publicans and sinners, but my reason is I came to die for you. If I am on the line fighting for you, regardless of who's around me, my purpose is to fight on your behalf. And that's my reason. And the executive called me in and chastised me on those 2 occasions. And if that's what they're referring to in this letter, then the Bahamian people need to seriously look at them and judge them accordingly.
I want to ask you, before we talk about your listen, there was a few announcements happening all at once in that whole announcement, and that was another one to say, and I will now be a member of the Coalition of Independents. But before then, what is the state of the Free National Movement in your view? Because it appears to be a party that sort of is teetering. We heard Dr. Minnis is not getting a nomination. By the way, is he going to follow you and join the COI?
I have no idea what Dr. Minnis is going to do.
You all sure you didn't have a discussion?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And you can bring the Bible, and I'll swear on the Bible. We have had no discussions on my move. In fact, no one knew. I kept this to my chest, close to my heart. I prayed about it, I fasted over it, I prayed, and at the end of the day, I know I had to make the move. I know it's a dangerous move, but it's a courageous move, and it's going to take a lot of faith, and I know the ridicule is going to come, the blows will come, but I've taken some heavy blows in my life. I've taken some heavy, heavy blows on the chin, and through the grace of God, I was able to survive those blows, and I'm sure the blows that they're throwing at me right now I'll be able to survive.
What's the state of the F&M, would you say? How people are saying,
if
"Dang,
the
the
F&M
F&M don't need another distraction." The Minutes thing is from last week was just making the rounds, whether social media, traditional media, and now you with this today.
The F&M, like I said today, is not the F&M that I knew back in the days, that I'm accustomed to.
What's different about it?
The separation, the division, cannot get together on the same page. The level of disrespect, as is shown right in this letter, the level of disrespect, and it goes from the top to the bottom. It is too unsettling. I felt uneasy, uncomfortable. I was a track athlete. I participated at the Olympic, at the World Championship
And you
level.
know the importance of a team.
The importance of a team. I ran on the relay team.
Did it get to a point where you couldn't trust your team members?
Well, obviously.
How did you feel sitting there in Parliament? Could you not trust them? Did you feel like, listen, this here is getting a little dicey?
In Parliament, we get along. I stood in full solidarity when the leader was named. I was one of the first person he locked hands with, and I was there supporting him. When the member for St. Barnabas threw the mace out of the window, we were all together, dragged out of the place like cattle. I got my suit ripped off, the buttons torn off. The member of Parliament for Long Island, we spent half of the night at Oak Tree Plaza in Palmdale getting x-rays to find out if something was broken, in pain on behalf of the party and the Bahamian people.
Do you feel like it's a slap in the face how you were treated? Is it that this party has become very callous and cold?
It has become very callous and cold, and if you don't fall in line, you will be dealt with.
Is it a dictatorship?
I do not subscribe to blind loyalty. I'll leave it at that.
Were you made to say if you don't fall in line? Were you made to feel and perhaps told, Aram Lewis, if you don't fall in line, then you're out?
Many words are left unspoken that you should be wise enough to understand.
Why the COI?
Because had I crossed the floor, started as an independent, I don't believe I would have the base that I need. I would have been wide open again to get pulled from both sides. I watch the COI, and whenever I hear them preach, it's about the Bahamas, it's about Bahamian people. You may say whatever you say about them, want to say about them, but it's always been this message about empowering Bahamians. There's more that we can benefit from our sovereign wealth. We need to look out for Bahamians. We need to look out for Bahamians. They've been preaching that message. They released a Vision 2030. Yes, they are a work in progress. I'm an architect. I'm a builder. While they're constructing, I can have input now to help steer the course, to help write the narrative that is going to create a better Bahamas. So why not? Why sit back and be disgruntled in a situation when I could step out and be a part of rebuilding a country that all Bahamians can play a part in, and particularly the young folks? That low voter turnout in 2021 was not only about COVID. Persons are pissed off. They're fed up. The same thing back and forth. They want to change. They want something different. So now the young people can now see that there's another option. And person who may also be in my position, but scared to make that move, hey, I did it. You don't need to be afraid. Put on the big boxes and step out. Do what you have to do. If God is in it, you'll be okay.
What is your first conversation with your constituents, and in particular the association, going to be?
With the association? Which association?
Yours, that you are still the Member of Parliament for
By
Central.
the time as I sat down today in Parliament, I look and I deleted, remove.
Well, they kick you out every group. They didn't kick you out every group.
As expected.
Shall I tell you, you've been added to any COI groups yet?
No, I've not been added
So
to
hold on,
any COI groups.
the association has kicked you out of every...
I've seen a lot of me being removed from the groups by the leadership, by the leading executives in the party. And hey, that's fine. That's fine. The thing is, I move first. And if it was coming, signs of the time.
Yeah.
If you outside and you see it's thundering and lightning in the dark clouds, it's going to rain. So get your tail inside unless you want to get wet.
I thank you, Aram Lewis. Thank you very much. And listen, good luck to you as you continue on with your political journey and career. I mean, obviously you're somebody who was not finished, had a lot still to give to the people of Grand Bahama and by extension the country. And you obviously want to continue doing that.
Thank you. And I'll say good luck to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
It's all about the Bahamian people and our country.
Absolutely.
And if this move can create a shake-up that's going to create a better Bahamas, then so be it. It would have been worth it.
Yeah. Thank you once again for stopping by.
You're welcome.
This is Beyond the Headlines. We are going to take a break and come back with much more right after this.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Attention all foodies, farmers, and fun seekers. The Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources is bringing you the biggest Agri-business expo this year. That's right, from April 4th to 6th on the Gladstone Road Farmers Market grounds. It will be packed with exciting exhibits, expert workshops, farm animals for the kids, and even interactive games. Whether you're passionate about agriculture, marine life, or just love great food and family fun, this event is for you. See you there.
Attention Bahamas! Get ready to link up in Eleuthera. Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group, Colette, Bahama Sin, and the Rock Sound Homecoming Committee present KB and Friends Boatman Show, April 18th and 19th in beautiful Rock Sound, Eleuthera. At the homecoming site, April 18th, experience the boatman himself, KB. Mama D, Colin McDonald, and the Falcons. April 19th, the vibes keep going with Ancient Man, Fan Sean, Teray Roll, Keisha, and the King of the South, Avi. With music by DJ Rap, Pop Style, DJ Lodge, and DJ Andy. Don't miss the Boatman Easter Weekend concert. Book your flights, rooms, and rentals now. For info, email keepthevibealive242@gmail.com. Telephone 558-3804. Don't miss the ultimate Boatman concert. See you in Eleuthera, April 18th and 19th. Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group presents The Legends of Rake and Scrape. Get ready for the biggest names in Bahamian music live on stage. KB, Funky D, Chino D, D-Mac, Sweet Emily, Simeon Oughton, Veronica Bishop, and more like the Singing Bishop. Mark your calendars for Saturday, May 10th at the Farm, Marshall Road. Gates open at 6 p.m. General admission 80, VIP 120. Tickets available at Missouri, Bungie Brand at the Beauty Shack, both locations. For Skyboxes and Sky Pod, call ESC Distributors at 394-0819. Or email keepthevibealive242@gmail.com. Saturday, May 10th, come by boat and play and experience the legends of Rake and Scrape. Brought to you by Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group, ESC Distributors, Missouri, The Plug, The Beauty Shack, Bahama Sin, Bookie Brand, and Caribbean Wines and Spirits.
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
This segment of Beyond the Headlines is brought to you by the Legends of Rake and Scrape, May 10th at the Farm, Marshall Road.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Well, much of today's top stories, of course, social media posts, had to do with the resignation of Central Grand Bahama MP Aram Lewis from the Free National Movement. Well, soon after he made the announcement, F&M leader Michael Pintard spoke with the media. Here's that story.
The Free National Movement reacting tonight to the sudden move by Central Grand Bahama Member of Parliament Aram Lewis' sudden departure from the party, becoming the first Member of Parliament to represent the Coalition of Independents in the lower chamber. Lewis defended his decision, offering a characterization that has left many within the Free National Movement reflecting on his exit.
That the F&M that I see today does not entirely reflect the party I have known and loved all my life.
Now, East Grand Bahama MP Kwesi Thompson, a longtime member of the Free National Movement, disagreed with his former colleagues' characterization of the party. Both men served in senior positions within the former Minnis administration and were among the 7 MPs to hold on to their seats in the 2021 snap election. They also vied for the party's leadership following that election, further heightening their influence within the organization.
And I am sure that the decision that he has come to, while I disagree with the characterization of the Free National Movement that he described is not the Free National Movement that I have known or know today. And it is, obviously, I disagree. It is opinion, but I disagree. I have a right to disagree. He has a right to his view. I have a right to my view.
Despite the shift, the F&M's deputy leader Shannon Dawn Cartwright maintained that the party remains focused on victory in the 2026 general election.
Well, that is his decision. But, Madam Speaker, the Free National Movement, Madam Speaker, that's been around for the last 50 years, Madam Speaker, as we have been, will continue to soldier on in the best interests of the Bahamian people and for the Bahamian people, Madam Speaker. And so, just as we have at other times in the history of our great body.
The last F&M member to cross the floor was Golden Isles MP Vaughn Miller, who left the party briefly serving as an independent before joining the Progressive Liberal Party in 2020. Prime Minister Philip Davis also weighing in, speaking to students of Sunland Baptist Academy from Grand Bahama, who were seated in the gallery of the House, calling the move by Lewis a perfect example of democracy at work.
And we need to respect the choice each and everyone made. So we respect the member for what he's done and chose, and we also respect the leader of the opposition for taking the positions that he's been taking, because he has the right to do that as well. Now, it don't align well with the member for Central Grand Bahama, but those things happen.
Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Well, responses across the floor this today as a result of Aram Lewis's resignation from the Free National Movement. And so we're going to get right into some discussion, some hot topics discussion, and get the opinions of gentlemen, welcome to the show, by the way, Leslie Miller and Garth Rosborough. Everywhere I went today, there were people talking about this. This absolutely eclipsed anything else and had people talking, very interested, quite intrigued. Your initial responses or reaction?
Well, it was about 10 o'clock or so this morning. My phone was just ringing in every which tone. And of course, I saw the flash that came across my screen. And I was told to, take off my bee suit. I was about to do a beekeeping job this morning in South Ocean. And I had to start making rounds to get information and to assure that by the time I got here tonight, I would have had me some viable and some credible information. But of course, Garth Roseborough, I'm reading the whole scenario, and I'm just going to say, man, I'm simply just, Shanique Miller, I'm loving this. This is news today, but, frankly put, Shanique Miller, I think we kind of saw the hint of this coming for quite some time. From your show perspective, we've spoken about this Free National Movement. We've spoken about their challenges. We spoke about the changes in leadership. We spoke about the Emperor and how the Emperor was transforming and becoming greater in the Kalani district. We saw a possible division. We saw the challenge at convention. We saw where the Emperor did not succeed at the convention, but we also said, we know this is far from over. Mm-hmm. And so now we come back to this point now where truth is the factor of the day, and the evidence, Shanique Miller, based on your show Beyond the Headlines, said so first, that this is where we're at now. We are at the point of truth, and now we see it for ourselves, that all that we've been saying all this time for the last 3 years, Shanique Miller, that you've blessed us with this show, that we were right.
Wow.
I was amazed when I got the word from Dave this morning that Aram Lewis had resigned from the F&M. I know he's had some innate problems with them. But what shocked me the most, you resigned from the devil, and you're going to meet Lucifer, Big Brother. Man, how the hell could you do that?
Who's Lucifer?
How you have the CIO guy as your leader, for Christ's sake? Huh? How do you do that? How? I don't know how much he was. Somebody pay you some more. I mean, your mind couldn't turn that fast to see this is the alternative to the Free National Movement or the Progressive Liberal Party? Really?
So you think it was a wrong move?
To go there?
Well, listen.
You got to be crazy. Something wrong with you. This boy need to go check into Sanders for 1 day or so and get evaluation, man. I respect the man. He was one of our great track and field athletes. But I just, for the life of me, to go to the what do they call this? COI? Whatever the hell they call this stuff. I mean, you can leave a party to go there to make a spectacle of yourself.
You know, they are an organization as well, Leslie. They are a political organization as well.
I'll say this.
They appear to be gaining traction.
Yeah.
They've been
one
working,
out of 100.
They've been working extremely hard. They've always been there. They've never stopped running. They've never stopped campaigning. They've always been agitating for the so-called change. Here we're looking at Aram Lewis, and I call this political divorce. And everyone knows that in a situation of divorce, common sense is not the measure in this particular situation.
No.
You're going to suffer much emotion, much grief. Distrust is going to be present. And of course, you simply just want to lash out. And if you really had to consider what is the greatest way I can lash out at the Free National Movement, I cannot go to the PLP. I'm not even certain they will even accept me based on our past history. But I'm certain of one thing, the COI will welcome me, they will support me, they will sustain me, they'll make me feel important again. And guess what? He did make history today in so doing for a third party, because I think this is what every third party desired. They always wanted someone to give them the credibility that they needed. And here was the stamp of approval coming from Aram Lewis, whether you think he was the best MP of all time or the worst MP of all time. The mere fact that he crossed the floor to join you, it was a great feather in their cap.
Exactly. I want to talk about what does this mean for the COI. They've been legitimized in one announcement today, or further legitimized.
Well, I kind of liked it when I heard it. I actually chuckled. But like I said, when we look at the Free National Movement, let's look at what we're really looking at, Shanique Miller. They have spent their time for the last 3.5 years simply breaking down everything that the Free National Movement was. Everything. They were actually purging and cleaning house. But they never made this announcement until such time. Here is my issue. My issue is that you're breaking down now. How much time remains for you now to build up and to become
victorious? Less than 18 months ago.
You didn't call, as one of the contributors of this station said, call your 14 candidates, call your 39 candidates, or even let me be decent about this. Let's go ahead and call 36 of your candidates, and you leave these 3 for the last. You don't want to call what you're going to do about Adrian Gibson. You're not going to say what you're going to do about Aram Lewis. You're not going to say what you're going to do about Dr. Hubert Alexander Minnis. Those are the last 3 seats that you're going to fill and say, you know what, I'm giving you a nomination, I'm not giving you a nomination. This gives you time, Shanique Miller, to go ahead and build momentum in so much that by the time you get to these 3 seats, even if you discarded these men, you've had such momentum that this would have been just a mere simple, minor distraction.
So you're saying they did not handle this right in the lead up to this?
Well, I would not
they
have
could
done
have been better positioned for an announcement like today.
You did it this early. Now you've further fractured the entire Free National Movement. Aram Lewis has family in Central Grand Bahama. He has people who are loyal to him as a family member. So let's give him 300 votes. And let's give him another 300 that Lincoln Bain would have gotten just for being Lincoln Bain, going to Grand Bahama, not knowing anybody, not having any family. So let's give Aram Lewis at this time 600 votes. Out of the 4,000 votes in Central Grand Bahama, the PLP has always remained with 1,700 votes in this particular constituency, losing to the Free National Movement. But if Aram Lewis is able to even get 600 votes for the COI, it would leave the Free National Movement with 1,400 votes. Unless those other 300 votes that choose not to vote in any election, they're just simply sitting there. Can the Free National Movement garner their support to match the PLP? Right now, I'm looking at the situation, and it's in favor of the Progressive Liberal Party.
You know, this news this afternoon really put the Bahamian people on course to see what mantle of man is this leader of the opposition is.
Definitely.
We saw what he did to Dr. Hubert Minnis, the veracity of him going to the man and telling him, I want to meet you to your house to let you know that you ain't running no more. And we decided to meet at headquarters, and I still tell you ain't running no more. Then you met after the young man, Lewis, and you tell him he ain't running no more. So he decided I could jump ship. And instead, you think I got the PLP, because apparently there was discussion between him and the PLP.
Yes.
And the PLP wasn't ready to have him as a candidate for that same constituency. So he couldn't find a home there. And the CIO, what do you call the CIO?
COI.
Oh, COI. Whatever. They would welcome anyone. Hell, if I was to go back now, they'd welcome me. Portgate, let's go. But you know, I am still very, very concerned about the man of the leadership and his style with the people that work around him, that he puts himself on this pedestal, that he has the last say, and that the people who make up the Free National Movement has no say. That dictatorial attitude.
But is he misunderstood, though, in all of this? Serious question, by the way. Is Michael Pintard misunderstood in all of this, and really it's just, for example, how it was one thing after the next with the Commissioner of Police when he was just getting slammed left, right, and center? Is this what's happening to Michael Pintard, that he's just in a bad spot at the moment, and so it's one thing after the next, therefore he's being misunderstood?
I think he goes from one problem to the next. But he created these problems, tried to solve the problem by dismissing people, and it comes back to haunt him. Because Aram Lewis is not going to sit down in Parliament and be quiet. I'm sure that every time he speaks, the guy's going to go after him, day and night, for what he has done to him. He has disenfranchised him as a member of an organization where he was voted by the people. Now, what I don't like either is that a member in Parliament could quit my party that put them in and go to a party that couldn't get 500 votes if God was to tell him. I don't think that's a fair thing that one should do.
It's been happening, though.
It's been happening, but I just don't like it. You can't run on A ticket today and then switch to Z, because the people who you switched to had no connection with voting for you. The people who sent you there would wish you to represent them. Now you represent an entire new party.
Well, in short order, people will decide whether
that's how life is in the Bahamas.
Yeah, absolutely. In short order, again, I remember I gave a nice little tidbit about the Westminster system and how it plays into that. Gentlemen, I wanted to talk about Adrian White saying that Dr. Minish should be given some post or the other if he is not given a nomination. What y'all think about that?
What post? They don't send him overseas then? What post?
Listen, Shanique Miller, but with all the confusion going on today, it's very simple. The Free National Movement does not have a recipe to attract young voters to this particular poll at this time. If they don't do that, they're going to lose. And with all that they're doing now, it's not an attractive party at this time. Whatever they do, it's only a Hail Mary for them. It's only a miracle if good Jesus shows up. Right now, like I said, I think they're fighting a losing battle. And very well, if they don't get their act in order very quickly and become humble, as Leslie Miller is saying, you may very well lose the entire party and may need to rebrand for future elections.
Something I miss you, man. Yeah, serious trouble. Serious trouble.
Gentlemen, I thank you both very much. The Hot Topics panel, listen, that their opinions are theirs and they always call it like they see it. Thank you both, Leslie Miller and Garth Rosborough. Thank you. When we come back, we're going to shift gears. The Ministry of Agriculture is here. You all know the major event that happens every year, just up the street from here. Well, they're here to talk about that and food security, a whole lot of other topics after this break.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
Need a new car for your business? Well, EV Motors and the Bahamas Development Bank have some news for you.
At the Bahamas Development Bank, we are committed to promoting Bahamian businesses and entrepreneurs. With our green lending program, businesses are able to access up to 100% financing to purchase electric vehicles for commercial and fleet use. We are so excited to partner with EV Motors for this initiative to encourage and empower business owners to drive green.
If you haven't visited our dealership on Tonic Williams Starling Highway as yet, we have a wide variety of brand new EVs from some of your favorite brands like Toyota, BYD, and Mercedes-Benz. As the official distributor of Kerry commercial vehicles, we offer a selection of high-performance commercial EVs. Currently, you can purchase the Kerry Cargo Van and the Kerry Elephant Truck, and soon flatbeds and box trucks for all your business needs.
To access up to 100% financing to purchase an EV for your business, you will need to provide us with a few documents: the business plan or executive summary, business license, historical financials, relevant KYC documents, and the vehicle and insurance quote.
With an interest rate of 6.75% and a repayment period of up to 8 years, you don't want to miss this fantastic opportunity.
To apply, visit our website today at bahamasdevelopmentbank.com or give us a call at 702-5700.
Island Luck Sportsbook is taking you to the NBA playoffs. That's right. Every $20 bet placed between February 24th and April 1st earns you an entry to win an all-expense-paid trip to an NBA playoff game. Imagine being in the stands, feeling the energy, and watching your favorite team battle for a championship. The more you bet, the more chances you have to win. So don't miss out. Place your bets now at Island Luck Sportsbook and get ready for the experience of a lifetime. Weekly drawings every Tuesday at 3 p.m. starting March 4th. Visit islandluck.com/sports for more details. Who's ready to fly off to the NBA playoffs?
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience, with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
Well, the Ministry of Agriculture is gearing up for its annual Agri-business expo. It's an amazing event where businesses, farmers, vendors, just about everybody who is into something that is authentic and just unique to the Bahamas, they gather, and it's just awesome. So much happens too at the Gladstone Road Farmers Market. They're here this evening to talk about that, but also I want to start, ladies, just where it's most important, that the Bahamas has been focusing on in most recent times, and that is food security, food quality, access to it all. It's, of course, we know the Bahamas, like the region, is vulnerable when it comes to those various areas I just named off. And so, what is this Agri-business expo going to do to help us all realize those goals and meet those goals for feeding ourselves? And so, this evening, welcome to Beyond the Headlines, Jacqueline Fox DeVoe. She is the project coordinator for this weekend's event, and also Shakara Lightborn, a committee member, also from the Ministry of Agriculture, helping out and working on and putting together all the various activities and acts and vendors and ensuring everything is set for you so that when you show up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you're going to have an amazing time. Ladies, good evening to both of you.
Good evening.
Let's talk about this event. It's a huge deal on the calendar for the Ministry of Agriculture. Like, how did this become such a must-attend event?
Well, Shanique, Agriculture Expo, Agri-Expo 2025 is our premier agricultural event. And we normally have it once a year. This year, there is no exception to the excitement, there is no exception to the levels of interest as we would have had last year. Our theme this year is food security is our priority.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, food security is key. It is key to the economic stability of any nation. It is key to accessing safe food and the right amount of food, sufficient foods for the population. You know, remember the pandemics when we had the long lines. So everyone in the Bahamas is aware of the importance of food security. And to this end, we are doing our endeavor to ensure that we educate, we empower, and we inspire every Bahamian at all levels. Like I mentioned, food security is our priority. It's not just the government's priority. It's not just the ministry's priority. It is my priority. It is your priority. It is our children's priority. Our youths are depending on what we do today to ensure that they have a greater economic, stable country tomorrow.
You're absolutely right. And Shakara, even the quality of food is necessary. Yes. It goes along with food security and availability of food. You know, the quality of food is also important. There was a recent study for the region that showcased where the region stands, and the fact that many people still don't have access to good quality food, healthy food, and so the lifespan was cut short.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Shanique, as Mr. Vo said, that food security should be a priority for everybody. Instead of just looking for the government to give you something or hand out, everybody needs to start with their own backyard. Everybody needs to take personal responsibility for food security. And from there, everybody comes together and eats this giant elephant one bite at a time. Right. Instead of blaming this one and that one, we need to all make it a personal priority to make sure that our country is food secure.
And then the thing is, it is an awesome opportunity after you start, because you all have also been focused very heavily on backyard farming, which is quite successful. I mean, obviously you want it to be bigger, where maybe each family in each home is doing a level of backyard farming, but people have caught on to it and they are quite interested in it. Yes. And it also can be like a stream of income if you do it big enough, right?
Well, Shanique, this year we have some 18 lecture series and workshops.
That's going to be featured over this weekend?
Yes, over this weekend. And we are, if you tune into our ministry's webpage, you will see the various lecture series and workshops that we will be having on Friday and Saturday. To name a few of them, if you want to know how to grow sweet potatoes, you can come at the expo. If you want to learn how to take care of baby chicks, you can come at the expo. If you want to learn poultry, backyard gardening, poultry in the backyard poultry, you can come at the expo. We also have a number of workshops. Shakari, you want to speak to some of the workshops that we have planned this weekend?
So in addition to the lecture series, last year we usually have lecture series on various topics. So this year we decided that we wanted a more hands-on experience. So for the three workshops we have this year are two beekeeping workshops and a biopesticides and biofertilizer workshop. So
all of which are hugely important. Yes. Because I was stunned, Shakara, when I met you some years ago when I was doing a live broadcast there at the expo about the importance of bees. I mean, give them like a little quick sort of snippet.
Yeah. No, well, in terms of the beekeeping workshop, we decided to focus on children. We're going to have one specifically for children, which is going to be from 10 to 12. And then we're going to have one specifically for adults. Because we believe that children, not to be cliche about it, but the children are our future. And we should start to teach them about our pollinators from the very little. So the age range for that is 8 to 15. And then afterwards we'll have beekeeping for adults. Not only about honeybees, but also pollinators in general. Because bees pollinate at least 75% of our food. And if we don't have our pollinators in place, we're going to be in very dire straits. So in terms of the other workshop, which is going to be on Sunday in the afternoon, people could come after to church, is the biofertilizer and biopesticides workshop. We call it the bio inputs and integrated pest management workshop. A lot of people are concerned about chemicals being used on their produce.
Absolutely.
And we're going to show people how to make their own fertilizers and their own pesticides in their backyard. So you don't have to go to the store and buy Roundup or all these chemicals that people are spraying on your produce. We're going to show you how to make it out of things like pepper and neem, and to make a really good product to keep your family healthy, especially for your backyard garden. And even if you want to do it on a commercial level, we'll show you the formula on how to do that. So we believe in showing people how to fish instead of giving them a fish. So that's what the workshops are all about.
And I mean, it's so important because even though, I mean, obviously the focus is on growing our own food and becoming sufficient in that way, you want to do so in a healthy way, so that the food that you eat, food is medicine, food is health.
Yes,
and
definitely.
so we want to push that message as well, because we know what the statistics are in the Bahamas in terms of whether, non-communicable diseases as it relates to food and the foods that we eat. So that's hugely important. Now talk about some of the features that's going to be there. Besides the hot food that people can walk around at various vendors and buy, I am always intrigued by the various people who produce whatever it is they're selling out of what grows around us and what's manufactured here.
Well, definitely there are going to be a wide range of producers coming from Abaco, Exuma, Eleuthera. We're going to have our farmers represented from all over the country. We're going to have people demonstrating hydroponics and aquaponics, which is a climate-smart way to produce food. You know, we've been through Dorian and other hurricanes, so we have to find different ways to adapt and adjust in the way that we grow our food. We also have poultry, egg production, chicken production. We have pork production, and so many other very interesting and very new industries that are emerging. For example, mushrooms. They're going to be.
I heard about the local mushroom industry.
Yeah.
That's now a thing.
Yeah, definitely. So this is the perfect place to learn about anything agriculture, even processing. The processing is definitely going to be represented, and this is a great link between agriculture and tourism. You know, tourism is our #1 industry. And I always say it's time for agriculture and tourism to get married, and we've been going steady for a long time. So tourism is the man with plenty of money, and agriculture, we need to find this man and try to marry him so we could get stronger. Both industries could be strong together, because you can't have tourism without food. And food safety and food security. Agriculture is a matter of national security.
It is. It has become that. And, I know that you all are very careful to make it a family-friendly sort of atmosphere.
Yes.
Talk about what's there for the kids, that parents, when they come.
So in addition to the food farming, there will be fun. We have a cultural component in the evening. We have a kiddies corner. We also will be doing face painting for the kids. So we want the whole family to come and enjoy. There will also be competitions held. Who can eat the most watermelons? Who can eat the most pineapples? Who can eat the most hot peppers? You know, we want to combine the 3 F's: food, farming, and fun. You know, so you just come on down, the whole farm. If you're looking for good food, good Bahamian food, all stuffed crabs, peas and rice, crack conch, whatever, conch salad, you name it. Just come on down. I can assure you that you would be totally, you would enjoy it.
And don't forget the culinary competitions. We have our culinary demonstrations there.
Yes.
We're going to have our food technology lab there showing you how to make yogurt and different things, processed items.
Yes.
And that's always a big hit at the expo. So definitely there's lots of things to do. Open from 10 o'clock in the morning to 10 in the evening, so you have lots of time.
It's like a full day.
Lots of time,
Yes.
and even in the evening you're going to have big entertainment.
Yes.
Fun Sean and Mama D and Shine and all these great Bahamian artists are going to be there at the expo.
And then on Sunday, if you want, right after church, you can come and join us. We have an all-day gospel fest.
Yes.
We also want to mention that in terms of food preservation, we want to teach Bahamians how to preserve, how to bottle tomatoes, how to make jam and jellies, you know, those sorts of things. So it's an empowering session. It's one to not only the fun aspect of it, but we want to educate Bahamians. We want to teach Bahamians, empower them, to show them how that we can, as a whole, help to ensure that we achieve greater levels of food security in the event of crisis.
For, again, all important topics, and every expression and presentation that's set for this weekend, all very important, so that we begin to be able to feed ourselves and have a level of security of our own, each household. Because, you know, we've seen what happened recently with the eggs, and the shortage is there, and of course at the pandemic, just the lines and shortage there. And so the more you can do for yourself, the better that you are positioned to help feed yourself and your family. Really awesome. Yeah. So give them an idea. Yeah, you may think everybody knows, but give them an idea where the expo is going to be held.
The expo is going to be held at the famous Farmers Market site on Gladstone Road. Once you enter the main entrance of Gladstone Road and Carmichael Road, it's just a few feet away heading north. You can't miss it. It's a big site, so you cannot miss it. You would see the sign, the expo site. And a lot of Bahamians attend the farmers market on Saturdays, so it's well known to many Bahamians. In fact, I guess every Bahamian should know where the farmer market is located. But it's on Gladstone Road, you cannot miss it.
Again, ladies, thank you both very much. You want to be there. You want not just to go and buy comforters and walk about, but you want to also stick around for some of the presentations. The topics are very, very important, and it's good that you are armed with some information to be able to make healthier choices and obviously sustainability for your household moving forward. I thank you very much. Joycelyn Fox DeVoe, Project Manager and Coordinator of what's happening again, Friday, Saturday, Sunday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And also Shakara Lightborn, Committee Member for the Organizing Committee as well. Thank you both very much. Looking forward to this weekend.
Yes.
Absolutely. Take a sun hat because it may be a little warm. And the sun on you. But I thank you, ladies. Thank you very, very much. I want to thank all of you for tuning in this evening. It's certainly been my pleasure having you along, and I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.